All right, everybody, welcome aboard. We are ReadySetCrypto. Today is Wednesday, the 15th of September. Welcome aboard, everybody. Glad to see you out there. Let us know where you're coming in from. Smash the thumbs up button. Beat the algorithm. Let's let everybody know we're starting this. We'll be here for the next half hour or so, interacting with you, talking about the crypto markets, talking about some new projects, things that are happening, going over some chart analysis, everything in the space of the next 30 minutes. So thanks for coming on board and let us know. Let's get things kicked off. Let us know where you're coming in from today. How you doing out there, Mav?
Good. I hope no one heard me drop something right at the beginning of the stream.
Maybe dropping the beat, but that's about it.
Hey.
All right, let's see. We got Abdallah out there. We got Popcorn Seller. Popcorn Seller, where are you coming in from today? Robert Lee coming in from Louisiana in the house. Outstanding. Colorado is coming in from Colorado. Outstanding. All right. Jordan, Kuwait, Palestine, all over the Middle East. All right, cool. Bonjour from Paris. Ici Paris. Hello from Florida. We got, let's see, Popcorn Seller is coming from Belgrade. Outstanding. All right, Smith, LA.
Cool. Awesome. Well, today we're going to be talking about some upcoming event projects, projects that have some events that we should be paying attention to. And yeah, let's get a live reaction to how the market's doing today. Obviously have a little bit of an upswing, so very exciting. Let's probably just dive into it. Yeah, let's do it. So, man, we're getting some good comments today. Love it. All right. Switching over to the screen here. Guys, if you want to follow along with me, the link is down in the bio below. Look for the little like finger pointing to it in case you're viewing from a screen or one of those new iPads or your TI-84 calculator or something like that. If your screen's not big enough to be able to see what I'm talking about here, that will let you see this information a lot better. But anyways, what we're going to do is
TI-84.
I think so. Yeah, we're just going to quickly run through a couple projects that we're watching right now that have upcoming things, are going to have probably some price related movement in response to those. And we'll also kind of talk about where you can find more projects with, price catalyst movement vectors or, events that are going on. So anyways, let's dive in. Obviously, this list is pretty concentrated into the top 50 because that's kind of where we're going to see more action happen based off of, the bigger the project, if it has a big release or something like that, the more the price is going to move in response to that. It's just a really much safer bet than saying like, well, I'm going to pick a project in like, market cap rank 500 or something like that and hope that the price goes up as a response. No, people are paying attention to these big movers. Look at this. You got Cardano, you got Terra, you got Avalanche. These are all in basically the top 20. These things, when they've got big releases or things that people could speculate on, they're going to move. And if you want to trade that event, it's all about buy the rumor, sell the news. And it's pretty easy to do so. We've talked about this strategy in the past as being one of the easiest ways to make money in the crypto space, especially when you have a bored market like it is right now. It has now been exactly a year that Bitcoin has been at least above $10,000. So that fear factor is still kind of there. But at the same time, the greed factor is, that machine is starting to get warmed up again. So anyways, we'll get to that when Doc talks about the charts here in a little bit. But anyways, moving into exactly why we're watching these, we have the most recent, Cardano just went through a big upgrade. There's some funkiness with that, but yeah, they've successfully upgraded that, and now they're going to have a big summit coming up in about a week or so. So we're anticipating them to, kind of build off of that and say what they're doing next. It's kind of their annual summit thing. Yeah, Cardano's number 3 right now, so obviously it's kind of just a it's going to stick around. It's going to do some big movement, hopefully. But definitely it's going to be competing with, the likes of someone like Ethereum right now. So big movers, the big guys on the top 10, and always any little nugget of information is going to move the market. So that's kind of what we're looking for. Whereas if we're looking to like outside the top 10 and paying attention to, projects like Terra, projects like Avalanche, these guys have some big upgrades, some big releases coming. So we want to be paying attention to those. Avalanche in particular is getting a lot of traction, a lot of noise about it right now. So it's trying to, in the face of Ethereum 2.0, trying to get some releases out there, attract, new, just users or people to build off their platform. That's the same thing we're seeing for Phantom right now. Phantom made some big waves, made some noise. I think it was in 2019 when they first really came out. And yeah, you couldn't go on crypto YouTube without seeing somebody talk about it. But yeah, nowadays it hasn't clearly, come into the running with, the big players like Ethereum or even other players like Avalanche. It's kind of, sitting at around rank 50, and they're looking to get, more developers, more activity, more traction on their platforms. They just released a massive 370 million FTM coin incentive program to hopefully get some people on their platform, to get them building off of that, maybe steal them away from Ethereum or something like that. This is the kind of stuff we're going to see more of. The smart contract platform space is starting to get more and more competitive. It's more and more of a red ocean. So they have to do everything they can to stick out it's not good enough to just be faster than Ethereum anymore. You have to have actual incentives to be building on whoever's platform you're trying to advertise. So anyways, smart contract wars, we could go on and on about that topic, but anyways, another one that we're seeing kind of this week was the NFT market space is starting to get hot as well. We talked about that last week. We talked all about NFTs. And one of the things that kind of developed in the last 24 hours or so is that OpenSea, which is one of the biggest NFT marketplaces, their head of product was caught basically, listing NFTs and then artificially, placing them on the front page so that they would, sell. And yeah, basically just rigging their platform and, screwing over the people who are trying to get started on that. In favor of stuff that they want to put in front of people. It's a rigged market, basically, is the conclusion people came to very quickly. And that doesn't look good for them, especially at this stage where the NFT market space is still very competitive, but it's going to be even more so 6 months, 12 months down the road. So that's why, with a project like PancakeSwap doing a release of, having their own NFT market space, where people can list NFTs and sell them, buy and speculate on them. Yeah, I think that's indicative of the fact that OpenSea is going to start to lose some of its dominance. We saw this kind of in the early DeFi space as well. Like Compound was dominating at one point, but then the market diversified. So we're going to see the same thing happen with NFTs. And this is a big step in that case. So I think this will do really well for PancakeSwap, especially as Binance Smart Chain gets more into NFTs. And starts to try to eat away some of Ethereum's market share. So last one is a project I'm kind of excited about. I think is doing really cool stuff. And that one is Swipe. And what Swipe does is facilitate crypto to cash transactions specifically for card payments. So you can kind of think of them like Stripe, the payment processor that does a lot of online and digital transactions on the internet. What Swipe is doing is, well, first thing to know is that they're owned by Binance. Binance acquired them a couple of years ago, And in particular, Binance is, or Swipe is powering the Binance card, which allows you to spend a lot of the tokens, the coins, cryptocurrencies on your Binance account. They also are powering the FTX card, and the FTX right now is making a play to eat away at Coinbase's and Gemini's market share here in the U.S. market. So you can kind of see that these two powerhouse offerings, and to have Swipe kind of facilitating that, that's a big deal. And I think they're going to continue to focus more and more on financialization, building these sort of fintech products. I think it's just really undervalued for who's backing it, what it's doing, how it's facilitating this stuff. And yeah, I think people are going to be talking about Swipe pretty soon here. But anyways, guys, that's my list for today. What I do want to say is that how you can find projects that are doing these sort of releases, these updates, these events. I use this site called coinmarketcal.com. Not CoinMarketCap, CoinMarketCal, like a calendar. And specifically, I'll probably filter for like the top 100 coins, and I want to sort by trending. And sometimes the CoinMarketCal site is not the greatest, so it'll get hung like this, but just let it think, and you'll be able to search for projects that are doing things, for example, inside the top 100 that are significant. This is how I found out about, Terra Luna's Columbus 5 launch, for example. We could also look for, what's trending in terms of market capitalization, in terms of categories. I like to use CoinGecko. We can kind of see that right now, like exchange-based tokens are kind of dominating. We can see that like yield farming is starting to really hit it. The Near protocol ecosystem is starting to really get off the ground. Stuff like that. We want to pay attention to, where the market is sort of trending, what's getting hot for what reasons, and just kind of pay attention to that. So that's something we talk about often, for example, on our new service, ReadySet Vision. The Discord we have associated with that, it's kind of, we've melded it into our ReadySetCrypto Discord, which you can join down below. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about, what's happening from a very high level on-chain, analytics sort of perspective, using the blockchain data to basically facilitate how can we outthink the market, look at these trends, look at these, sort of ways to break down the market and get ahead of it using statistics, using sort of like trend analysis. It's really awesome stuff. And, it's something I definitely encourage you to learn more about if you want to become a more effective trader or investor or just, speculator following the space. I'd also encourage you to check out elite.readyset.trade, which is run by Doc, and we'll teach you how to trade better, especially the public equity markets. But you can take a lot of what you learn about that and facilitate that into your crypto trading. So we're all about helping you become a more effective, educated investor and trader here at ReadySetCrypto or ReadySet brand. And that, I think that's a good segue into, let's talk about the charts, what's happening from the market perspective. Why is, the market kind of bounding up right now, and what can we derive from that? Doc, over to you.
All right. Thank you very much. Good job there, Mav. All right. Thanks. So let's take a look at the charts over here. Let's make sure I have this up. Yep, it looks good. Okay, so we're going to start with Bitcoin versus the US dollar because it's still the big dog that's out there. So what we have is what I call a decision box at this point. It's about 10,000 points wide. And so this is the way I want you to look at things. Like, a lot of people will sit there and say, well, is it going to go higher or lower? I honestly don't know, and neither does anyone else. Nobody knows what the future holds. Everybody trades on the hard right edge right here. So this is how you handle this. If the price breaks out above 53,000, this completes the transition back up to the upside. That's all good. We'll more than likely get a big squeeze coming up here. Who knows whether we have overhead supply sitting up at 64,000, but it's a good bet that it's going to continue. Now, the other hand, this is the dark side here. If we have the same decision box bounded by 53 and 43, if this puts in a lower high here and does not continue, this is where we could have the lower high setting up down here. This creates a lower high in the monthly chart. So we're actually in a really important juncture at this point as the price hits. This is called the Golden Cross. If you want to sound like a real rube, talk to people about the Golden Cross today. in Twitter and things like that, and I'm sure people will love you for it. But honestly, there's no professional that's out there that really gives two craps about the golden cross and the death cross. They're irrelevant, right? So don't worry about that, although it is Golden Cross Day, so you can put that on your calendar. But that's our decision box here for BTC versus the US dollar. So watch for that. More than likely, we're going to have the price consolidate in here for a couple more weeks. Don't expect it to break this box anytime soon. This is still a little bit too early. Okay, so we've looked at BTC. Now, I did get some requests to look at some of these other coins here. If you guys have anything else you want to take a look at, let me know and give me the pair. Otherwise, I'm just going to put it down versus Tether or the dollar. Okay, so if we're looking at Binance, AVAX here, this is what we call a nice cup pattern. So this is the rounded base, and sometimes we'll get the cup with handle. Sometimes we just get the cup, but basically in a pattern like this, especially one driven by volume, that's good. That's good stuff there. What you can do is you can look for a measured move, which is the distance from the bottom of this to the top. So if we subtract 60 from 10, we have an upside measured move of about 110 on AVAX. Okay, so watch the energies from this. So right now we have an exhaustion figure at this point. So more than likely we're going to have some significant consolidation between 48 to 60 or so. Maybe sometimes I've been surprised these things just break out because there's a supply demand imbalance. Can do whatever it wants to do, right? Okay, so that's AVAX. Somebody else was asking about OHM. All right, so let's look at OHM, and we'll just look at whatever chart that we have available to this. This is a daily chart, right? So this one is just starting to get moving. This is just starting to get moving on a daily basis. Now, the weekly chart is still a downtrend. So this one's still somewhat immature in terms of this, or OHM versus DAI, stablecoin, whatever you want to use against the currency basis for this. But this looks like a great big, just a big consolidation triangle at this point. So if you want to be more conservative, you can wait till this breaks out above here, although this is kind of expensive, right? So look for dips on this. Okay, another one that came up was VRA. And we'll just do this versus the US dollar. This again is looking at the same type of pattern. We're seeing this everywhere, this type of rounded base, and the measured move target is the depth of that. So if you want to do the math, get your calculator out there, your TI-84, and measure the distance there from the bottom to the top, and then add that to the neckline. There's your measured move. We do have exhaustion down here, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this consolidate. Again, a very, very common pattern to see these days, but watch out for the volume. The volume will trigger what's going on. All right, Moon River, somebody else was talking about. And this one is so new that we don't have much data on it. But what I do like about this is that it's moving in a very linear fashion. Range expansion goes to range contraction. The volume starting to come in, range expansion goes to range contraction. This is a very linear pattern. And linear patterns are very duplicatable. I'm struggling for the right word there, but they tend to repeat on and on. They tend to be very repetitive in a linear pattern like this. So tends to go range expansion, range contraction, and then repeat. And it forms kind of, the flag forms kind of a halfway house in between the legs of these. So this one's good. Watch for the break above 475. Not sure if it's going to pull back at this point. Let's see, another one that came up, and I'll check the list here in just a second. FTT came up versus the US dollar. Let's take a look at this. This is, again, looking pretty good. This one was in a cup with handle pattern and has already broken out above 60. So this one's got a measured move of, let's just call this, just to be simple here. The upside target for this is about 100. So right now it's in the middle of the move. There's consolidation. There's a good energy pattern here. This looks good. A break above 75, probably is going to target 100 on this coin. Okay, so let's see. See what else we got here. What else has come in? Okay, George is asking for ADA, Cardano. With pleasure, George. Okay, so here's the break on this. This one has been moving up. This one was just an absolute crap pattern for the longest time. Cardano. Okay, so this one's finally started to move, like a lot of other coins too. A lot of other coins looking to move, and it's not exactly linear. I would like to see this tighten up besides this. So what that tells me is it's probably on a weekly basis, probably an exhaustion, that it is. Okay, so Cardano could use a little bit more rest up here. So it's probably going to take another few weeks before this thing is ready to break above 3. So that's my view on Cardano. Let's see. What about it? ALBT. Let's see. ALBT. ALBT. Okay, this one is, again, fairly immature and is starting to break. And it looks like it's already broken its pattern here at about 90 cents. This one's difficult to call just because it's so sloppy on a weekly chart basis. Daily chart looks pretty good, though. It looks very linear. So this one is currently in a consolidation pattern, needs to build up a little bit more energy up here before it's able to break out. But the weekly chart looks a little bit stunted right now. Probably is going to consolidate for quite a while before it's ready to move. Evil Ken. What about Ken versus the US dollar? What about it? What about it? All right, let's see that one. Okay, that one doesn't look so good. That one is not looking so good. And if we look at this on the weekly chart, we don't really see any reason. It's seen some, occasional bursts of interest, but man, if you have choices about where to put your investing dollars, shekels, Deutschmarks, or whatever, right? Euros, this is probably not one that I would pick. It does not look so good. Okay, so let's see. What do I think about Solana? Okay, so Solana is one that has run away. So this one, we first talked about this a few weeks ago. So what I would do is I would throw some fibs onto this one. And it's come down to the 50%, and it's building up energy nicely. And we'll just take a couple more coins here. I see the chat room is working hard out of the periphery of my vision here, but we have the daily chart looking pretty good, but right now the weekly chart looks really toast right now. So what I was talking about with folks on our Omnia service is this may come all the way back down. This may get real sloppy initially. So this may come all the way back down to maybe something like 100 or 90. And so what I would do is I would look for, here's the swing test at 60. So you got nothing to lose by putting in a good till cancel limit order at 60 and seeing if the price will just crash all the way back down to there, pick up some at 60, no harm, no foul. But I would never chase after this unless it shows really high and tight pattern consolidation. But right now, this thing is I just can't see this thing going at this point without a few more weeks of consolidation. All right. Okay. Let's see. All right. So we did Solana. Oh, man, you guys are killing me today. YOP. All right. YOP. Why not YOP? Okay. So let's do the versus Tether. Ooh. Are we having a contest to see who can pick the worst coin here? This is probably our leader for this. This is a primary downtrend, guys. Invest in assets that are going higher. That's all I will say on this. Invest in assets that are going higher. Okay, Ren versus BTC. All right, we'll give this one a shot. And anything that's versus BTC, I have a difficult time with that, because if you got BTC running, you're going to lose. So this one's been in kind of a nasty downtrend, and this is because BTC has been so strong. If we look at Ren versus the US dollar, let's see if we can see that. All right, well, I'll just try. No, we're not going to find it. We'll just try it versus Tether. So this does look better on Tether because Bitcoin's less stable as a reference currency. Patrick, are there any newsletters for September? Yeah. If you're not on the email list, email us. Email us to make sure that you're on distribution, because I haven't got around to putting up the archive yet. I'll get to that tonight. Okay, so we already did VRA. Let's see, just a couple more here, and then we're going to let you guys go. So Hex, let's look at Hex. And Hex looks actually really good. Hex looks really good here on the daily chart. So this is nice range expansion, nice range contraction. If we look at the weekly chart, we see some exhaustion. So once again, I would expect to see this consolidate for at least a couple of weeks, but look at the volume coming into Hex. This looks really good. Okay. UBT. Unibright. Okay, this one looks real good too, although I would expect to see this one consolidate for a little while. So this is the example of something in a weekly uptrend, right? This is a weekly uptrend. Chase after stuff, but wait for, so here's a swing test. This may be the best entry that you're going to get, is about 2.5. If the price consolidates here, comes down to the swing test, that may be about the best you're going to do for a limit order. Okay. Let's see. I'm just going to give you guys one more and then we got to move on. So, let's see. Quant. Let's try Quant. You got to get them in early, guys. Got to get them in early. Okay. Quant is very immature. Hard to read this. It's only been around for a couple of days. Got slammed on the initial release and no more. All right. So let's do a DGB, Digibyte, and then we'll, DGB, and then we are going to go. Okay, so here's Digibyte. Not looking too good. Not looking too good. It was good into the spring, and it's really been destroyed since that point. So we have a weekly downtrend. This is a weekly downtrend. I would not go after Digibyte. Don't go buying the dip on this one until it reverses back into a primary uptrend above 8 cents. All right, so let's cut back to the group here. Okay, that was an intense TA session. And, let us know if there's something else that you want to see. Just reach out to us, and we'd be happy to. Don't do it through the YouTube chat because we generally don't check after that, though. So just reach us in Discord. There's links below here on how to get on in Discord, and I'll be happy to look at a chart analysis for you guys.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, guys. And as always, appreciate your time and being a part of this community. We'll be back here same time next week. But until then, hopefully we can see Bitcoin break through 50,000. Hopefully it should happen over the next week or so. And where we go from there should be interesting. But until then, cross fingers. But yeah, as always, we'll encourage you to join our Discord. It's free to do so, as well as some of our free communities down in the bio below. ReadySetVision for on-chain analytics, ReadySetTrade for learning how to trade more effectively, trade the equity markets, and of course ReadySetCrypto to learn how to do fundamental and technical analysis in the crypto space. So we have lots of educational opportunities and content for you to dig into. So maybe finish out this year by, making a resolution to, become a more effective trader, become more, educated investor inside the crypto space. And we have plenty of material to help you do so. But until then, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. And yeah, we'll sign off here, but take it easy out there. Stay safe. And cheers.
Okay, everybody, you guys take care. and we'll see you next week.
I guess.
Adios. Well, there we go.